Imagine a large apartment building, brimming with floors and individual apartments. Each floor represents a block of IPv6 addresses, and the apartments are individual addresses within that block. Now, when it comes to the management of this building, certain floors are allocated to different building management companies. Each company receives a specific set of floors to manage and distribute the individual apartments within those floors. This, in essence, is the concept of IPv6 address allocation. It's like how regional internet registries, or RIRs, allocate large blocks of IPv6 addresses to internet service providers, or ISPs. But the story doesn't end there. The building management companies, after receiving their floors, then assign individual apartments to tenants. They can choose to assign the apartments directly or allow subletting within specific floors. This represents the concept of IPv6 address assignment. It's how ISPs further assign smaller blocks of addresses to their customers for their specific needs. Now, to bring this analogy to life, let's consider a real-world example. Think of a large ISP like Comcast. An RIR might allocate a /48 prefix, containing a staggering 2 to the power of 80 addresses to Comcast. Now, Comcast, instead of subnetting the entire block, might choose to assign smaller /64 prefixes, each containing 2 to the power of 64 addresses, to individual customer networks within its service area. This allows for efficient use of the allocated address space while catering to the varying needs of different customers. The key difference to remember here is that in IPv6, allocation typically involves larger address blocks compared to individual address assignments. This approach reflects the abundance of IPv6 addresses compared to the limited space in IPv4, where subnetting was crucial for maximizing address utilization. This hierarchical nature of IPv6 addressing, where large blocks are allocated and then further divided and assigned for specific uses, is akin to city planning or a library book system. In city planning, a large area of land is divided into different districts. This initial division represents the allocation of large IPv6 address blocks by RIRs to ISPs. Within each district, further planning occurs for individual buildings and plots, representing the assignment of smaller address blocks to individual customers. Similarly, in a library book system, the central library allocates specific collections of books to each branch. Each branch then manages the assigned collection, keeping some books on the general shelves for easy access and storing others in a specific section or room dedicated to that genre. This reflects how ISPs further assign smaller blocks of addresses to their customers, potentially creating specific subnets for different purposes like internal use or public access. So whether you think of it as managing an apartment building, city planning, or running a library book system, remember that IPv6 address allocation and assignment are all about making the most of the vast landscape of IPv6 addresses. And that, in essence, is the beauty and complexity of IPv6 address allocation and assignment.